Appreciate you coming on short notice. We're here today to discuss what we believe are clear violations of federal and state law by the O'Malley-Brown administration and by the Brown-Ullman campaign for governor. We have sent formal requests to the U.S. Attorney, the Maryland Attorney General, and the Maryland State Prosecutor to immediately conduct investigations to determine whether federal and state laws have been broken. As you know, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Inspector General is currently conducting a federal investigation into potential fraud by parties involved with the Maryland Health Exchange. The ongoing federal probe into fraud in Maryland is currently investigating the millions of taxpayer dollars that were wasted on the failed Maryland Health Exchange website. The OIG issued subpoenas in the case, and by most accounts, a criminal investigation is currently underway. We believe that this federal investigation needs to be widened to determine if federal and/or state laws were broken, and to investigate the potential fraud regarding the state tax dollars that were misspent on the exchange, how and why the O'Malley administration awarded these contracts to the failed contractors, how and why the administration failed to properly supervise the contractors, and who ultimately is responsible for the collapse of the entire system. We have formally requested broader federal and state investigations into the health care debacle, as well as other inappropriate, clearly unethical, and potentially illegal contracts awarded to large donors to O'Malley, Brown, and groups with whom they are directly involved, including the Democratic Governors Association. We believe that this investigation should determine whether state and/or federal laws were broken in the awarding of, quote, emergency no-bid contracts for the failed health care exchange, which Lieutenant Governor Brown was directly responsible for overseeing. Specifically, the O'Malley-Brown administration awarded massive state contracts to firms that donated hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars to the DGA, while Governor O'Malley served as both chairman and finance chairman of the organization. In numerous cases, Maryland state contractors made large donations to the DGA just before or immediately after the Anthony Brown-led Maryland Health Benefit Exchange awarded large contracts to these firms or their subsidiaries, including no-bid contracts to, quote, repair the failed health exchange. Another concern is whether these suspicious donations to the DGA have been funneled to and are now funding ads being run to promote the Lieutenant Governor's gubernatorial campaign. The evidence of unethical and potentially illegal activity on the part of the O'Malley-Brown administration in the hiring of state contractors, all of them major donors to the DGA, is clear, convincing, and overwhelming. The following is a chronological documentation of just some of the material facts. Governor O'Malley led the DGA as chairman from 2010 to 2012, and immediately thereafter assumed the role of finance chairman, leading the organization's fundraising efforts. United Health Group, the parent company of Optum QSSI, donated $375,000 to the DGA in 2011 and $275,000 in 2012. The Blue Cross Blue Shield Association donated $525,000 to the DGA from 2011 to 2014. In early 2012, a division of Blue Cross Blue Shield is hired to build the Maryland Benefit Exchange. The Maryland Health Benefit Exchange collapsed on October 1, 2013. On November 11, 2013, United Health Group donated another $150,000 to the DGA. A little over a month later, on December 5th, 2013, O'Malley Brown gave United Health Group's Optum QSSI a $14 million no-bid contract to fix the failed website. 2 months later, the Maryland Health Benefit Exchange Board voted to fire Noridian and hire Optum QSSI as the primary contractor for the site. Problems continued to plague the exchange. Deloitte donated $50,000 to the DGA on February 11th, 2014. Deloitte Federal PAC Treasurer Cindy Stevens donated $5,000 to the DGA on February 25th, 2014. Deloitte donated another $10,000 on March 26, 2014. And on April 1, 2014, the board of the Maryland Health Benefit Exchange voted to abandon the state's failed health exchange and to adopt technology used in Connecticut's exchange. The board then hired Deloitte, the contractor that built the Connecticut system, to take over the Maryland system. In addition to these contractors involved in the failed health exchange, dozens of other Maryland state contractors in multiple industries, including healthcare, energy, gambling, and transportation, donated $9.4 million to the DGA from 2011 to 2013 under the leadership of Martin O'Malley. In turn, these contractors received $2.6 billion in state contracts from the O'Malley Brown administration during the same period. United Health Group alone received $1.7 billion of that amount. In many cases, the administration awarded contracts to DGA donors within days of the donations, and sometimes without soliciting any competing bids whatsoever. Based on these material facts, in addition to the expanded healthcare investigation, I further requested that the investigation begin immediately to specifically include, number one, whether the administration awarded other contracts based on donations to the DGA or gave preferential treatment to firms based upon their donations to the DGA. Two, whether the administration evaded the state prohibition against corrupting the electoral process with large donations from state contractors. And three, whether this tainted money is now being funneled into the Anthony Brown gubernatorial campaign and is paying for the false attack ads being run against me. These millions of dollars in unethical, inappropriate, and potentially illegal donations flowing into a gubernatorial campaign here in Maryland have the very real potential of corrupting the integrity of the entire electoral process in this election. Recognizing the inappropriate and unethical nature of these relationships, state law prohibits state contractors from making these contributions to an elected official's campaign account. The evidence detailed in the documents we filed with prosecutors indicates a deliberate, coordinated effort by this administration to circumvent the intent of the law by soliciting unlimited contributions to a federal rather than a state account. Allowing a pay-to-play culture of corruption to take a stronghold in our state government threatens every business and individual in Maryland. Even the perception of this practice prevents an open and honest bidding process for all job creators who may wish to do business with the state. It allows complicit politicians to hijack millions and even billions of dollars in state taxpayer dollars that could serve a greater purpose both in the government and in the wallets of struggling Marylanders. Unfortunately, this culture of corruption is enabled when you have a political monopoly with no checks and balances. For 8 years, this administration has run unchecked, without any accountability, and it's hardworking Marylanders who have paid the price. We believe very strongly that these allegations warrant a serious, thorough, and immediate investigation. Thank you.